Today's recipe is going to be Undone Stuffed Pepper Casserole. I got this recipe from Craft Magazine. It's very good and it's very simple to make. You're going to need cheese. I have cheddar cheese. You're going to need green peppers, or you can even use red or yellow orange peppers. Some minced onions, some salt, some garlic powder, some pasta sauce. I'm using a tomato, garlic, and onion. This is a 24-ounce jar. You're going to need some olive oil, and you're going to need some boil in the bag rice, so you can use instant rice, or you can use regular rice. I'm using this rice because it cooks faster. And of course you're going to need hamburger. I'm making double the recipe, so you're going to need at least 2 pounds of hamburger. First thing you want to do is get a pot of water so you boil your rice. I'm going to be using 3 bags of rice. While you're waiting for the rice to cook, you want to go ahead and put the olive oil in the frying pan for the hamburger. You're going to take the hamburger. You're going to take the hamburger and put it in the pan. You're going to season the hamburger with the salt, the minced onions, and the garlic powder. Now this version I'm using is a variation of the recipe. I will put the recipe link in the down bar so you can go and check it out for yourself. It's kind of like my version of the Undone Stuffed Pepper Casserole. So you put the salt, and the onion, and the garlic powder. And it's not on yet. I like to season the meat first, and plus I have to cut up the bell peppers to put in there before I even cut it on. Plus you don't want to start the hamburger too quick if the rice isn't ready yet. Cut that on high. The recipe calls for green pepper only, but I like to put red pepper in to give it a little color. So you're going to cut the tops off the green pepper. You're going to cut the seeds out and just kind of rip it on that. And what I do is turn it upside down, and then I slice it in half. Then I just continue to cut the inside out. It's easy that way. And make sure you get rid of all the seeds, like that. Then you cut it. You want to cut it up into chunks. You can cut them as big or as small as you want. I like to cut mine up in small chunks. You don't want to make them like real small. Then you just throw them in there. Just cut. I like to stack it on top of each other. You see that? Like I said, as big or as small as you want. You can see I have big chunks. But the green pepper is going to cook when you cook the hamburger. So it's going to be nice and tender. It's not going to be a big chunk of hard green pepper. And you want to make sure your oven is set to 350 degrees. I end up using 2.5 green peppers instead of the whole 3. And this is how it looks. And you want to cut the fire on so you can start browning the hamburger. You see that the rice is already boiling. You keep stirring the hamburger until it's done, and the peppers get soft. They're gonna get real soft once you put them in the oven. You just keep stirring until all the red is out of the hamburger. You want to check it because you don't want to eat any raw hamburger. You want to drain the rice once it's done cooking so it can cool before you open up the bags because these bags are going to be real hot. So drain as much water as you can out. You see it? Like that. You just leave it in the pot until you need to use it. Okay, the hamburger is done, as you can see. Now you can, if you want, you can drain some of the grease out of the hamburger, which is I'm going to drain a little bit out. You want to cut it down to like 2 because you're going to have to mix in the spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to drain it a little bit. See? You should smell how good these peppers smell. The peppers with the hamburger smell so good. You can also use a colander if you want, but I didn't feel like taking it out. So you don't put it on the direct heat yet. Add the spaghetti sauce. Stir. You don't want to use the whole jar because you want to put some on the rice when you put it in the pan. Okay. So you just stir it in there real good. You're going to let it sit and heat up the spaghetti sauce a little bit. I'm cutting it down to 1 because it's a little bubbly. You don't want to burn it, you don't want to scorch it. It smells so yummy. Now while that's marinate together, you want to open the rice. See, I have my pan. I have I think this is a 13 by 9 pan. And I have sprayed it with non-stick cooking spray. Just want to pour it in the pan. It's still hot, so be careful. You don't burn your fingers. So you add all the rice. You want to smooth it out like this. I'm cutting the fire off from underneath the hamburger because it has marinated together. Okay. What I like to do with the rice, I like to add some salt to the rice. So you stir the rice up, then you want to add the rest of the pasta sauce. I just want the rice to have a little bit of sauce of its own before I add the hamburger. You just want to stir it in. There. See, the rice is nice and coated. Now you want to add the hamburger. You want to stir it in. After you stir in the hamburger, you want to add the cheese. You can either just place the cheese on top, but what I like to do is I like to stir the cheese into the mixture and then place some on top. Now I'm going to add the cheddar cheese. Add in a little bit, and I'm going to stir it in. Yes, that's a big bag of cheddar cheese. As you notice in my other videos, all my bags of cheese are this size, because we buy in bulk. Like I said, you can just stir it in, or you can just put the cheese on top. I'm going to do both. You can also use mozzarella cheese. I haven't tried it with any other cheeses, so I wouldn't know how like jalapeno cheese or anything like that tastes. Probably tastes good though. I love jalapeno cheese. Once you've added the cheese, you're going to put it in the oven for 25 minutes, uncovered. For 25 minutes. After that, it's going to be done. It's a real quick and easy meal. It has been in the oven for 25 minutes, and this is what it's going to look like. Nice and cheesy and all nice and done, and it is just so delicious. So this is Undone Stuffed Pepper Casserole, and thanks for watching.